Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. We're at the 2nd of August, only 2 days into the month, and there is a parkour PR blitz. You can't open a newspaper, magazine, go online without bumping into one of their puff pieces. Things like how it was really Spotify who let them down and didn't show them how to make podcasts. Blaming Catherine and accusations of she really should have been taken down a peg or two by now and made to pay for her nastiness to Meghan. Things like Harry suddenly playing polo in Singapore after that announcement was taken down a few weeks ago, after there was great outcry and animosity exhibited towards it from us peasants. And then Has-Been is also going to Japan, we hear. And then, of course, in September, off to Germany for the Invictus Games. And lo and behold, Madame, turns out, is going to Germany too in September. And along with the millions of other things, there was some nauseating phone call to winners of some random prize that the Parkles did, which is on the front page of the Daily Mail as I do this. So they are everywhere, but it's the Invictus Games thing that popped up that I thought, and I went back and I looked at a reading number 320 in the current Royals playlist that I did on whether Madame would show up at the Invictus Games. And I got the card The Lovers for her way back when she really wanted to go. Has-Been wasn't so certain about it. He had the Justice card in reverse in that reading. He thought she might overshadow him, steal his thunder. The Invictus Games didn't seem to want her there at all, and it didn't look at that stage as if she would go. But times have changed. The Clooneys and the Beckhams have dumped the Parkles very publicly. Serena didn't invite Meghan to her baby shower. There is no Emmy nomination. There is no Tig reboot. There is no starring role in a film. And Has-Been has managed to secure these trips abroad, Singapore and Japan. What about Madame? Oh, I know what. I will host a farewell show. Moderate is the word. She will be moderating a farewell show for families and competitors on the 16th of September in Germany, which will be very emotional. Of course it will be very emotional. It's Meghan, of course, hosting it. Has-Been himself will give the closing speech, and it's not known at this stage whether those mysterious children will manage to find their passports and birth certificates and make it over to Germany in time. So that's a long ramble, getting to the gist of the reading, which is just a very short reading after the long ramble. I have the Shadowland Tarot out on the tarot table because I think we're dealing with someone whose ego is very troubled at the moment, nose out of joint, that no attention for her, and worst of all, Prince William is going to be in New York in the middle of September, and we always expect some stunt from Madame, in particular from the Parkles, and so what can she do but host this farewell show for the poor families and competitors of the Invictus Games in Germany. Let's see what's going on. How desperate is she that she's had to arrange this last minute? Sounds very last minute. How does Has-Been feel about it? About her suddenly elbowing him out the way and going to show up there? Is this all to take some of the shine off Prince William's trip to New York? I'm going to look at Prince William and Has-Been in the next reading, just for fun. It's a bright sunshiny day here. It's lovely. It feels like spring after a long dark winter. And so why not have a bit of fun at the Parkles' expense? And of course it is just tarot for fun and entertainment. Oops. And what else do I need to tell you? Sometimes I go blank when I do this. I need to tell you that it's my opinion and it's all speculation, and that there is a disclaimer in the box below, and I read energy, of course, here. Just energy. Just energy, because we are just all energy. And the whole universe is energy. So it's just energy, just like Harry is just Harry. Bit more shuffling. And then we get down to it. How desperate is she? How annoyed is he? This is despite Prince William. And will she overshadow has been? It's all shades of that coronation concert, isn't it? When the Parkles tried to negotiate a starring role for themselves at the coronation concert and present the concert, and then that didn't fly. So they didn't bother to go to the coronation. Well, she didn't bother to go, because why bother if you're not going to get a starring role in it? And it's not all about you. You might as well just stay at home and ignore it. So there's that. So I think we're in similar territory here. Give me a starring role or else. But let's see. Let's see what's going on. King of Swords. We've got some power plays there with the King of Swords. It is almost like an ultimatum energy. That this could have come from some negotiations, some sort of deal making here. I need attention, I need notice, I need publicity. My PR people have told me that I need to be seen to do this. You better make it happen or else. There is a very or else-y kind of energy in that King of Swords. It's very threatening, it's very demanding, it's very powerful, it's very decisive. King of Swords is also military, very much so. Only the Emperor is, in my opinion, more sort of militaristic. And so it's got to do with that. And you can see this one is signing some document, reading something. I think this is part of a deal. That she needs attention. If we're going to pretend to be married for the next 2 years, then I need to be at Invictus games. You need to be sitting next to me in the garden while we phone these poor unsuspecting teenagers and harass them at home. My opinion. Anyway, it's got this vibe to it. It's cold, it's calculated, it's strategic, it's contractual. Let's see the situation, the actual situation in our 5-card reading. We've got 7 of Pentacles. Again, a similar energy of I've put effort into this, and so I need this to happen. And this is a very interesting card for me, because if you go back to that previous reading I did, reading number 320, I got that card in reverse for her. And I felt the grievance in that card, that she felt that she'd put in all this effort, she'd bought all those fancy clothes, and she'd gone in that little car and been humiliated, and she'd sat through all these events that I'm sure she wasn't even remotely interested in, while Has-Been had his hand very cozily on another man's thigh for quite long periods of time. Interesting. What's in it for me? And this is all about what's in it for me. What's in it for me again? It's a charitable event for people who have suffered terrible injuries, mental and physical, as a result of serving their countries and fighting for, well, if you believe the PR about what we're fighting for, I don't know what we're fighting for anymore, but apparently truth and justice and freedom and all that stuff. I suppose at some level they are, not to disrespect them, but really. Anyway, let's not go there. Those people believed what they were fighting for and made the ultimate sacrifice in many cases. And this is all about what's in it for migraine. So how desperate is she that she suddenly had to wangle this Page of Wands in reverse? This is all this bad PR that's been coming out. Relentless bad news. She can't bear it. It's just blow after blow after blow after blow after blow, daily blow. The media are having great fun with the Parkles, as far as I can tell. Sue the media and reap the whirlwind. And this is the blasted heath kind of a thing, kind of a look here. And she can't deal with it. She needs positive PR. She needs to be the center of attention. She needs the stories to be all about her. And so we get this announcement. How does Has-Been feel about this? With a big chunk of hair missing. King of Cups. King of Cups. King of Cups. I think that he feels that this is his thing. He's emotionally invested in this. He made it all happen. Well, he didn't, but we all had to be told that. He made it all happen. It was his big idea, and he did all the work, and he set it up, and blah, blah, blah. Edward Lane Fox, anyone? King of Cups. I think he thinks that this is his big moment. this is his time to shine. It's his connection with people, servicemen and women. This was always his beat. This was always his thing. This is always where his popularity came from. It's always where he connected with people and felt like he was doing good and all that stuff that the King of Cups does. You can see this sort of shell thing that this head is. It's like its own story reverberates and goes round and round, and he believes the hype, his own hype, and he's very caught up in his own world, this little King of Cups here in this Shadowland Tarot. I don't think he really even hears what she's about. Try and block it out almost. This is my story. I'm caught up in the moment, and I think he manages, it does seem to be a Windsor trait, he manages to be quite ostrich-like when he needs to be. So I'm not getting horror and dismay and running away at all. I'm just getting caught up in his own feels and not really noticing what's going on around him, which could be why we've had 5 years of marriage, alleged marriage. And he still hasn't woken up and noticed what everyone else has noticed. Just my opinion. Is this all to spite Prince William and to steal some thunder from him in New York? And comes the dog to complain. Oh yes, it's all about that. The Magician is the PR card, the supreme PR card. Making it happen, cooking it up. Get your spell book out and your Eye of Newt and your this thing of that thing. Let me not misquote Shakespeare. And phone everybody and insist. And it's happened. Absolutely. This is a fairly pitiful attempt, I would say, unless she manages to resurrect some long dead performers like Elvis and Michael Jackson and stuff and get them to perform at this farewell show. I don't really think it's going to overshadow Prince William, but she's going to try her very best. It is a bit mad, isn't it? A bit extreme, a bit obsessed, that you have to put so much effort, so much energy, use everything that you have to make this happen, to try and overshadow someone who once scoffed you on the steps of a chapel and at Sandringham. Never forgiven. Anyway, let's see, moving back to the Invictus Games and Hasbeen and his wife. Is she going to overshadow him? What's going to happen in the end? Is this going to go well for her and badly for him? Oh, she is going to overshadow him. King of Pentacles in reverse. She's going to take all the shine out of it. Absolutely. He is the King of Pentacles, the earth sign. Well, not king, would be king. But she's going to absolutely undermine him, cast him into shadow, erode his self-confidence, the thing that he most believed he was good at, and his great achievement in life, the Invictus Games. There he goes off. He's packed his little suitcase. He's going off all happily. Ends up in shadow. Nice. I'm mentally going through the marriage files to see where in the marriage files there is that. That's what you get. A spouse who actively campaigns against you. But anyway, that's your reading. And so we have something to look forward to in September. And let's see how Hasbeen and William are stacking up in the charitable stakes and the hair loss stakes in the next reading.